at that.
Well, that's cool.
This is a great swim.
Yeah, that was a great find.
Wow.
That was a lot of
Lots of
bubbles coming up
bubbles.
there. Wow.
This is great.
Methane ice.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, hydrates, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And a
Wow.
plastic
Wow.
cup, it looks like, too.
Oh man, good. That is. You think that's hydrate there?
Yeah, look at it. It looks like
That's cool.
that is really
Wow.
cool. Look at all of those bubbles.
Awesome.
We're thinking it's hydrate, like the clathrates, the ice form of methane, which is a methane molecule that's surrounded by water molecules, which are in ice form.
Someone's written saying, "This is awesome. Why have I not heard of this before?" I know, right? But you have now, so it's all good.
This is very, very
Something
great.
very unexpected.
We found it on the sonar.
And a solo cup right there.
Of all the places in the world for a red solo cup. Show up.
We've got some visitors that want to name this the Solo Seep, Steve.
Solo Seep.
So just to clarify, because we've thrown around a lot of terminology here, we're looking at methane seeps, which are the bubbles, the gaseous bubbles coming out. Those ice-like hydrates are forming. That's where methane is trapped
Wow.
in a layer
Look at
of
that guy.
ice.
Oh, man.
And then the bacterial
This is our best
mats
spot.
are chemosynthetic organisms growing up around these methane seeps and hydrate layers.
Yeah, you can kind
So
of
this
tell.
is really an interesting find because this hydrate exposure of hydrate to seafloor is unusual, and we only have a couple of other cases discovered so far along the whole Cascadia margin. One is at the hydrate ridge to the southwest, and the other is off the Eel River off Northern California. This is quite an interesting find here. We never expected to see something like this in the middle of the canyon floor. So we're going to have to think about why that this particular seep is here and exposing hydrate right in the middle of the canyon floor.
Now, really interesting to see the animals swimming through the methane like that. Can anyone speak to why they might be preferentially swimming through the bubbles?
Well, so it depends. There can be bacteria in the water that they're eating, but there can also they could have symbiotic bacteria within them. It's hard to tell for sure without having samples.
Yeah. Great. Thanks, Sarah.
So we would never have found this seep without the technology on the Nautilus here with a sonar system that detects these bubble plumes, and so finding it in the middle of the canyon was a surprise. We didn't expect to see something right in the middle of the canyon. So
Yeah, and we weren't even heading on this track. The Herc sonar just picked it up, and we went to explore.
So that's the nature of exploration. We find unexpected things. And, this is certainly a surprise, a very welcome surprise at this point in the cruise.
That's right. And for those of you just tuning in, that white stuff on your screen on Hercules view up in the upper left corner or on channel 1 is what we do believe to be methane hydrates. Again, that methane trapped within a layer of frozen water or ice. When we zoomed in, you could really see that quite clearly. Now we're looking at more of the megafauna surrounding the area here and a lot of the bacterial mat that is formed around this seep. Really impressive seep we just discovered here on the canyon floor of Astoria Canyon.
You can see the bubble streams are now sort of going down. They're not as much coming out, and this will vary as we probably sit here. There'll be ebbs and flows in the streams of bubbles.
So what are those little white things we're looking at? Are they part of that icy hydrate, or are they some sort of bacteria?
Yeah, we're not totally sure.
Oh, I love a good mystery.
They look hard though, which is interesting.
Yeah, if these little bulbs are anything close to hydrate, we will find out when we have the sample back on board, because if we can't find the sample anymore, then it was hydrate.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good way. Yep, so you might be able to just see in the shadows there is, oh, nope, the lights are on now, some shiny silver-looking implements on the front deck. And they're the ones we'll be using to sample some of the gas here. They've even built a little trigger on the side of Hercules' arm, which will open the valve. Now I know I'm very excited about this because I haven't seen this equipment be used yet, but I've been looking at it for a while. So this here is the temperature probe. Are we getting a temperature reading of the Seep, or is it just to probe the Earth?
We're going to get a temperature
Both, I
reading,
think.
yeah, and probe a little bit.
Right.
Multitasking.
And questions coming in about that red thing, that asking if it's a cup.
Yes.
Yes. There's also questions about how did it get here. Like most rubbish, down stormwater drains,
Yes.
washed off a beach.
It's a good reminder to not litter.
Yes. A lot of questions about whether we're going to be picking up the rubbish before we leave. Probably not, because we don't want the rubbish to then contaminate the scientific samples that we're taking. And probably science research right now is our biggest focus as opposed to rubbish disposal. Yeah, so always just make sure you put your rubbish in the garbage bin. That should be fine. It's always good to pick up as well if you see any rubbish that's on the ground. Good practice, good practice. If anyone watching at home wants to guess what the temperature might be, go for it.
Is it still around the same?
Seems to be marginally higher. It's 2.94 to 2.97.
Okay. It's at the surface it was about 2.91, and here a little bit further in it's 2.95.
All right.
Yeah, so we're going to try for core samples and a slurp sample here. It looks pretty rocky, so we're going to have to try and find an area that we could take a core sample from. But it would be nice to get a slurp sample around here of the areas with the white dots.
Yes. Okay.
Looks almost like jelly though.
Nothing in the can.
Oh wow, and you can see those bubbles coming up now.
Yes, yeah.
And they're moving sort of unusual. That's because
Yeah,
they're
but
little
they're-
ice something.
Exactly, they have some hydrate skin around them. So actually, when they have hydrate skin, the bubbles, so they can make it so the methane that is kind of
Still
trapped.
nothing in a jar?
Nothing. I'm kicking it up.
Okay.
Do we know at what sort of depth those bubbles will...
You got the pump off now? Are you still on?
They
Shut
will
down.
continuously kind of dissociate into the water
Okay,
column of
well,
the
here, I'll
skin,
get some more.
but then
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Come on now.
Don't go that way. That's not good.
but also
So what we're about to do is we want to take a sample of one of these bacterial mats that's down here. Just so we can learn more about the environment.
Okay, I might head over there so I can point out where to core.
Sure.
Might have to put 2 in at once before we remove them. Just because the stuff is
That
so
would be great.
gelatinous.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's going to rip it
Yeah.
all up.
Ooh, get some
Oh,
free
bubbles.
bubbles.
Top of your head.
For this one, if you can just make sure that it doesn't go in all the way and there's just a little bit of water left in the top.
Okay, I'll go in slow. You can just call it.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
Okay.
So you can try collecting samples like this at home if you want with a straw. So you may have played around with a straw in your drink before. If you put your thumb over the top of the straw and pull it out of your drink, you'll be able to hold a bit of that liquid in the bottom of your straw. And that's just because of the pressure differences. If there's no air coming in, nothing's going to come out. So we didn't get to use the bubble thing, but are you guys excited about what we did get from that site?
Yeah, I think it was very successful in regards to the cores, and the temperature readings will be good to have. And we have the slurp sample of the white dots, so we can try to characterize those.
Oh yeah, that's right. So if you weren't watching earlier, the sea floor around this methane seep is covered in these little white dots, and we don't know what they are yet. Don't know whether there's some sort of icy hydrate or some sort of like living creature. So we're going to go and check them out when we get the samples to the surface.